What's up, everybody? Andrew Mahone here with Darium's Competitive Pokemon. Today, going to be talking about Darkrai GX for my Card of the Day video. Darkrai GX, sweet new GX Pokemon from the new Burning Shadows Sun and Moon set. Darkrai GX is a Dark-type basic GX Pokemon with 180 hit points. Darkrai GX has an ability and 2 attacks. Let's take a look. Darkrai's ability, Restoration, reads, once during your turn before you attack, if this Pokemon is in your discard pile, you may put it onto your bench, then attach a Dark Energy card from your discard pile to this Pokemon. So, Restoration, obviously, that seems like a super powerful ability. Just the ability to bring an energy into play from the discard pile. You don't have to flip or anything. It kind of reminds me a little bit of Ho-Oh EX, the one that you flip for the rebirth ability and brings 3 energy from the discard pile of different types into play. Reminds me a little bit of that, but you don't have to flip for it. So it's automatic, a guaranteed energy from the discard pile to your bench, which is just a nice little energy ramping ability, especially if you combine it with the Darkrai EX that does more damage for the number of darkness energy that you have in play, that's played in those turbo dark decks. Obviously, you're doing with Dark Pulse, is the name of the attack. With Dark Pulse, you're doing more damage, for the amount of darkness energy that you have in play. If you bring this Darkrai GX from the discard pile onto the bench, that's 20 more damage, and then you could do it multiple times. So it definitely has synergy with the other dark decks in this format. Also, just a nice kind of ability for all dark archetypes. You could play one in your deck in Expanded. Dark is a very popular archetype in Expanded, and you could play it in those decks, maybe with your Battle Compressor. It has synergy with Battle Compressor as well. You can just send Darkrai to the discard pile with an energy with Battle Compressor, and then bring it right back up into play to ramp up Darkrai's Dark Pulse attack. Darkrai GX also has an attack, Dark Cleave. It says this attack's damage isn't affected by resistance, just 3 energies, 2 dark and a colorless for 130. Dark Cleave isn't necessarily anything to write home about. However, it is solid damage. If you take into consideration that Darkrai GX can ramp an energy to itself just coming from the discard pile with Restoration, all you need is a manual attachment, maybe a Max Elixir, something like that, and Dark Cleave, can come into play with relative ease. Also, doing 130 damage, you put a choice band on that, it's 160. It's not great numbers. You're really not going to be knocking anything out in one hit with Dark Cleave, so it's kind of relegated to a 2-hit knockout attack. Darkrai GX I don't think is necessarily going to be your main attacker in any deck. I think it's going to be more of a support type Pokemon to your Darkrai EX deck with that Dark Pulse attack. Darkrai GX also has this Dead End GX attack. It says, if your opponent's active Pokemon is affected by a special condition, that Pokemon is knocked out. So that's kind of a cool GX attack because it does have synergy with the Darkrai EX's second attack as well, which does more damage if the defending Pokemon is asleep. So you could use Dead End GX and you could use Darkrai GX's second, or Darkrai EX's second attack in conjunction with one another. Maybe if you had some way to put the opponent to sleep, maybe like that Hypno that exists that puts the opponent to sleep with its ability. That's one option, right? But Dead End GX also has synergy with Hypnotoxic Laser in expanded format. So you could poison your opponent, maybe put your opponent to sleep with Hypnotoxic Laser, and then come in with a Dead End GX to knock out the defending Pokemon for game in expanded format. Just having that ability to accelerate the energy onto itself means that you could pull off a Darkrai GX kind of out of nowhere, especially in expanded format. So I do like Darkrai GX and expanded. Maybe you play Energy Switch in your deck and expanded. You can just use Darkrai GX to get an extra energy onto the board and then Energy Switch it to somebody else. I think that Darkrai GX's ability, Restoration, is a useful ability. I think that this card does have synergy with the playable dark cards in format right now. It has synergy with Dark Pulse. I think that Darkrai GX will have a future alongside Dark type Pokemon. Oh, what's up, Carl? In the future of the Pokemon trading card game. Of course, Darkrai, being Darkrai, does have a weakness to fighting, resistance to Psychic, which is nice, especially against Trashland, Scarbador, your Espeon GX, and a retreat cost of 2, which is average. But there's that Altar of the Moon, which gives Dark type Pokemon with Darkness Energy free retreat. So that's pretty sweet because Darkrai GX can take advantage of that to negate its retreat cost. So Darkrai GX, end of the day, I think it's a pretty good card. I think it has synergy with the other Dark cards in format and is going to see play alongside that Dark Pulse, Darkrai, just in those kind of turbo Dark decks. Unfortunately, you know, we do not have Skyfield in standard format. I think Skyfield would make this card easier to play because you would have more bench space, right, to be able to accelerate your Darkrai GXs out of the discard pile. However, I think Restoration is still a useful ability, and this card will probably be able to find its way into those Dark type decks in the future. So, let me know what you all think of Darkrai GX in the comments below. Like, comment on the videos, subscribe to my channel. Thank you all for checking out this Card of the Day video. Peace.